What's good, Hajinites? In today's video, I'm going to show you a Fredrinn playstyle that's going to win you a lot more games. Fredrinn isn't your typical jungler. You can't play him like an assassin. He's much more of a utility jungler, so your mindset has to change if you want to get the most out of him. Like always, we're starting on the gold lane side. I take the small green creep first and instantly retribution it so I can speed up my clear. Now here's the biggest thing about Fredrinn. Your first rotation is still the standard jungle clear because level 4 is your biggest power spike. But after that, you shouldn't be power farming all game. Your priority becomes enabling your teammates. Think of yourself as a second roamer. You naturally hit level 4 before everyone else. You're incredibly tanky and you have a ton of crowd control. Use that advantage to create space for your carries instead of only worrying about your own farm. Here, my teammates spot Leomord's green buff, so I immediately rotate over and secure it with retribution. That single invade delays his level 4, which is huge because now he can't match my first rotation. After that, I head back to my own green. My only goal right now is hitting level 4 as quickly as possible. You can already see the enemy trying to punish me. They have an Estes supporting a Diroth, and Diroth is one of Fredrinn's hardest matchups early. Notice what I'm doing here. I'm constantly watching the map instead of tunneling on my camp. I see Estes overextend at the exact moment I hit level 4, and that's my window. I instantly kill Estes and then swap onto Diroth. I know he doesn't have his ultimate yet, so I finish him off and even use retribution to guarantee the kill. That entire fight only happens because I stole Leomord's green earlier. Without the invade, I never reached level 4 in time, and this fight probably goes completely different. Before we get back into the video, if you're looking to top up your Mobile Legends diamonds, check out Eldorado using the link in my description. They offer competitive prices, verified sellers, fast delivery, and 24/7 customer support. If you decide to use them, don't forget to use code HAJUN, all uppercase, to save even more while supporting the channel. And if you want to take your gameplay to the next level, I also offer private coaching. I'm a 300+ stars pro player. I've been coaching for over a year, and I've helped hundreds of players improve their macro, decision making, and rank. If you can't find either link in the description, just head over to my YouTube channel, click more, and you'll find all of my links there, including Eldorado and my coaching. Now, let's get back into the video. We look at Turtle here, but my retribution is still on cooldown and Leomord has stronger secure at this moment. Instead of forcing a bad objective, I back off, farm a little more, and wait for a better opportunity. I even help Ruby secure the XP crab because her level 4 makes our next turtle fight much stronger. Now we're ready. I immediately pressure the Estes again. Leomord has already committed his ultimate, Diroth gets caught, and once again, they're forced to back and I'm free to secure turtle. That's exactly how Fredrinn wants to play fights. You're not looking for flashy solo kills, you're creating space, you're soaking a lot of cooldowns, and you're controlling the front line. Because you are the best front line your team pretty much has. And you're just letting your team kind of clean everything up. One thing to remember is that Fredrinn without level 4 is much weaker. Your taunt and ultimate completely change how strong your hero is, so don't force fights before you unlock them. Here, we find Estes again. Ruby follows up with her crowd control and we secure another easy pick. Notice that I'm still not obsessed with farming. Every time I have the option between another jungle camp or helping my teammates, I'm looking for whichever creates the bigger advantage. Even though the enemy had a fed Diroth with an Estes behind him in the early minutes of the game, they couldn't snowball because we made the right decisions during the first few minutes. And honestly, that is exactly what's gonna win you more games. If I never invade Leomord's green, I don't hit level 4 in time. And if I don't get level 4, I lose that fight around my buff. And if I lost that fight, Diroth is pretty much gonna snowball the entire early game. One small decision completely changes how the rest of the match plays out. Always pay attention to the information your teammates give you. Vision wins games, especially in the jungle. Here, I completely ignore what happened on the bottom side, because I don't think it's recoverable. I won't reach there in time. Instead, I'm asking myself, where can I create the biggest advantage right now? So right after clearing mid, I check up on Leomord's blue, and it is available, so I'm gonna invade it again. At this point, I'm stronger than Leomord. My retribution is stronger and I have Angela backing me up. This is exactly the kind of fight Fredrinn wants. I actually want the enemies to focus me. The more damage they commit into me, the more space my teammates get to free hit, and the bigger my grey HP bar becomes. Remember, your ultimate scales with your gray HP. The more damage you've absorbed, the harder your ultimate hits. Just make sure you land the center of the slam. That's where almost all of the damage comes from. We just finish off Leomord in his own jungle and we just completely take over the map from here. At this point, the game is basically under our control. Because we shut Leomord down early, I can keep invading him without much risk. And notice something important. I'm not ahead because I've been full clearing my jungle all game. I'm ahead because every rotation has created pressure somewhere on the map. That's what utility junglers do best. I try to catch Kagura after she uses her escape, but she's just a little too far away. Nothing else is really happening right now, so I'm just gonna go back to farming. With Fredrinn, your buffs are still a priority. Blue and red are worth taking whenever they're available. The smaller camps aren't nearly as important. If your team needs you, don't hesitate to leave those behind. Ruby gets caught in the opposite side here, but she's simply too far away. If I abandon my blue now, I waste time and completely don't save her anyway. Instead, I finish my buff, rotate mid, and we immediately punish Clint instead. Sometimes the best play isn't trying to save someone who's already dead. It's creating an advantage somewhere else on the map. Kagura's dead, so we quickly push mid. Like I always say, mid lane is the most important lane on the map. The faster you open mid, the easier every future rotation becomes. Angela lands a nice immobilize, I chain my crowd control afterwards, and Leomord has no chance of escaping. One thing I want you to notice here is what happens after I use my ultimate. I immediately slow the pace down. Fredrinn's ultimate isn't just damage, it's also a huge part of your survivability. Once it's gone, you're much easier to kill. So unless you know you can fight the fight, don't keep running forward. Here, Dira tries to bait me under tower. I probably could have chased him, but there's no reason to gamble. Instead, I build up my gray HP, dash into Clint, and he disappears. That's why people underestimate Fredrinn's damage. If you manage your gray HP properly, your burst is actually insane. Now obviously, this game is also easier because Angela keeps ulting me. Good teammates always make utility heroes stronger. But I honestly think the biggest reason this game became easy was the early game. If he lost at first invade, Dirat literally snowballs. Leomord gets online, and suddenly this game looks completely different. That's why early decisions matter way more than people realize. We secure Lord here. Now here's something I see a lot of players misunderstand. Lord will always walk towards the lane with the weakest outer structure. If every lane is equal, it'll choose the one with the lowest remaining tower HP. Keep that in mind before you start pushing random lanes. Unfortunately, Harriet starts a fight a little too early and gets picked. And that happens. Instead of trying to force something, I just focus on wave management. Whenever Lord is pushing one side, you usually want to pressure the opposite side. You want to leave the Lord lane alone. You just let the Lord naturally build pressure by itself. Nothing worth fighting for is happening right now, so I go straight back to farming. This is another mistake I see a lot of junglers make. They spend 30 seconds standing beside their teammates, waiting for somebody else to engage. If no fight has actually started, just keep farming. You lose way too much gold by hovering around doing nothing. Right now I'm finishing Immortality. That's a much bigger priority than randomly showing up mid hoping something happens. Harith dies again, but I'm not worried. He's going to respawn before the next Lord anyway. If he died 30 seconds later, then I'd actually be concerned. Timing matters. Don't panic every time one of your teammates gets picked. Always ask yourself one question. Does this death actually change the next objective? Now that Estes is down, this is the perfect time to set up for Lord. The first thing I do isn't to start the objective, it's push the lane opposite of Lord. If you've watched my channel before, you've probably heard me say this 100 times. You always want the opposite lane pushing while you're taking Lord. That way, if the enemy contests, they're already losing pressure somewhere else on the map. I finish my Immortality here, clear up one more wave, and then proceed to go on to Leomord's blue buff. Once I secure it, Now, we're in a perfect position. Bottom lane is already pushing by itself. We can start Lord. Watch how I position here. I don't chase the enemy into their jungle, I stay around the river. If they step into river, I turn and zone them. If they back away, I immediately go back to hitting Lord. That's the rhythm you want. Don't overcommit trying to kill someone while the objective is still alive. Your job is simply to stop them from getting close enough to contest. Fredrinn is amazing at doing exactly that because of how much crowd control he has. Now Lord is secured, and the next thing people mess up is the lane setup afterwards. Every Lord push is won or lost by wave management. Lord is already creating pressure on one side of the map. Mid naturally pushes the fastest because it's the shortest lane. So which lane usually falls behind? I want you guys to think about it. If you guess top, you're right. That's why I'm pushing it now. I'm trying to get all three waves arrive together. When every lane crashes at the same time, the defenders have impossible choices to make. Unfortunately, my team clears the Lord lane a bit too early. That actually weakens the push. Ideally, you leave Lord's lane alone. Let Lord naturally stack the wave by itself. That creates way more pressure than constantly clearing in front of it. Sicilian takes my blue here, and honestly that's completely fine. Late game, I'd much rather have my Sicilian with blue than keep it for myself. His mana and cooldowns are much more valuable for the next fight. Since Lord isn't spawning for a while, there's no reason to force anything. I'm just farming. This is another habit you should build as a jungler. If there isn't an objective and there isn't a guaranteed fight, keep increasing your gold lead. At this stage though, I'm watching my teammates much more closely. One death this late can completely change the next Lord fight. So my role shifts again. Instead of looking for picks, I'm mostly looking to peel. Peeling just means protecting your carries. Also, Fredrinn is one of the best heroes in the game at doing that. He has multiple stuns and he's incredibly hard to kill. And he buys so much time for his damage dealers. Harith gets caught here. Honestly, there's not much I can do about that. He was way too overextended. Instead of chasing a bad fight, I just keep invading Leomord's jungle. Then I notice Sicilian trading 1-for-1 with Dirot. It's not ideal, but it's actually acceptable. They lose one of their biggest threats and Harith is already respawning. That means we're still in a great position for a Lord. We start Lord, and once again, we're gonna use the same concept as last time. If the enemy walks into the river, I'm gonna zone them. And then the enemy backs away. I keep hitting Lord, and I secure it. You don't need to overcomplicate objective control. Just repeat that cycle until the objective is yours. Now I already know Lord is walking bottom. All three inhibitor towers are still alive, and bottom is the weakest lane. So now the only thing left is executing the final push correctly. At this point, I already know that Harith loves to engage early, because it's happened 2 times before. And after what happened during the last Lord push, I just don't want wasting another one. So this time, instead of splitting away from my team, I actually stay with them and escort the Lord all the way into the base. We break open the bottom inhibitor, which is exactly what we wanted. I look for Clint here, but I get focused instead. My immortality gets popped, and I immediately swap into Winter Crown. One mistake on my part though, I held my ultimate for way too long. I should have used it much earlier. With Fredrinn, don't be greedy waiting for the perfect ultimate. If you're about to die, just use it. The healing and damage are usually worth much more than trying to squeeze out 1 extra second. After surviving, I switched straight back into immortality. The passive will be available again before the next major fight, so it's much more valuable than buying another defensive item here. Lord isn't spawning yet, so I'm back to farming. This should look familiar by now. Every time there isn't an objective, I'm collecting gold instead of wandering around the map. I rotate over because my team's fighting nearby. I peel for them, use my ultimate. And once again, it's gone. I immediately back out. That's another habit. A very important habit for Fredrinn actually. Once your ultimate is gone, your survivability drops a lot. You don't have to win every fight immediately, just reset. Wait for your cooldowns, then look for another opportunity. Here I actually make a small item optimization. Immortality's passive is still on cooldown. So instead of carrying a dead passive, I swap onto Chastise Pauldron. That gives me a useful passive while I wait and gives me more physical defense. Then once immortality is almost available again, I simply just buy it back. Late game, little item swaps like this make a huge difference.
To look on the bright side from time to time.
Just like before, I'm staying around the lane opposite of Lord. And I'm just pushing it. Another thing I want you to remember is that the minions, your own minions, are going to mirror the opponent's minions, so you will know exactly where they are. Now, Diroth walks up to defend, and I know that this is a fight that I win, so I commit my ultimate. I secure the kill, and immediately leave. And if I don't have my ultimate, there's no reason to stay. Meanwhile, my team is taking the Lord. Now my only job is making sure nobody gets close enough to contest. Clint burns his flicker trying to survive, which is already a win for us, but I don't chase. Harith isn't here yet, so forcing a fight would just throw our advantage. Instead, we reset and prepare for the final push. Now, it's just about sinking the waves, waiting for a Lord, and ending the game cleanly. I find that taunt onto Estes, drop my ultimate before I go down, and from here the fight is basically over. This is why I say Fredrinn is very good at peeling. You can just keep stunning the opponents. We lock down the Diroth, and once their frontline disappears, Kagura has no way to defend the base. So, that's the biggest lesson I want you to take away from this game. Fredrinn isn't the hero that hard carries through mechanics. He pretty much carries through decision making. You don't really have to outplay everyone, you just need to make better rotations. You have to have better objective calls, and you need to create a lot of space for teammates who actually deal the damage. If you play Fredrinn like an assassin, he's going to feel weak. If you play him like a utility jungler, he becomes one of the strongest picks in solo queue. If you learned something from this video, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed. Thank you guys so much for all the support lately, it genuinely means a lot. Also, don't forget to join the Hajunites Discord if you haven't already. If you want direct advice from me, server boosters also get access to my inner circle, where you can ask me questions about MLBB whenever you need help. So, make sure to boost my server if you are interested in that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Dark, so the tank pull up.